Coming up,
Hilary,
Welcome
to join us.
I delivered Jack, waiting to be stitched up, and Michael had made a couple of phone calls, one of whom was to Nigel Havers. And he said, I'll pop in. And I literally had my feet up on the stilts like that, and through my feet, in came Nigel.
He saw everything.
Literally everything.
Oh my God.
I think he's been in therapy ever since.
And you must
Hi, Nige!
welcome back to No Parental Guidance. And a huge thank you to our sponsor, Jet2 Holidays, for sponsoring today's episode. How you doing, babes?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right.
And how's your week been?
It's been all right. A few fails, a few wins. You know, usual. My eldest son, who's 14 this year, he goes to school by himself. You know, he walks to school. Yeah. And I completely forgot it was an Inset day. So he was the only child at school. The only one. And then in my WhatsApp chat with his class, which is very, very minimal, because once you start secondary school, the WhatsApp chats are not what they're like at primary school. Oh my God, they're completely different.
Talk me through that.
They're like non-existent. You have one, but barely anyone uses it.
But how are you going to find out about Oscar's PE jumper?
Well, that's why I didn't know about the Inset day. Like, that's why. And so I went so my son called me and he was like, Mum, the school's closed.
Oh, God.
I was like, no, it's not. Maybe you're just early or late. I was like, Mum, it's closed. Like, it's locked. So I went into the WhatsApp chat and I started typing to say, Basil's at school. And then I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to, because I barely pipe up in this chat and I don't want to come across like an absolute idiot. So then I said to my son, I'll pick you up. I felt bad. It's a 20-minute walk. Oh. Anyway, so whilst we're in the car to get my son from the closed school, my daughter, who's 6, is on my phone and she opens up WhatsApp and manages to send that message that I didn't want to send in the chat to them and then added her own message, which was what? I need to show it to you. It basically says, I love you, with a poo emoji.
How many parents did she send that to?
Everyone. And I didn't see it. And then the worst thing is, like, everyone's seen the message, like blue ticks throughout, but no one's replied.
Oh, really? So not only do you look incompetent because you sent your son to school on an Inset day, but your daughter's sending pictures of to the whole year.
So that was interesting. Any fails for you this week?
So I have got a fail that I'll tell you about that happened over Christmas, right?
Okay.
So this might resonate with a few people. So I had an operation. Yeah. I had to go into hospital, had 4 incisions in my stomach. So I've got endometriosis and I had some cysts on my left ovary. So it was like a case of I had to get into hospital to have this procedure and trying to fit it around my tour as well.
Gosh, of course.
So and get recovery and everything. And I've had the surgery before. So basically I went in and we'd been away for a couple of days. I was exhausted. And we chatted obviously on the podcast about that exhaustion. And we chatted about this where it's like the mental load as a mum with, 3, it doesn't matter whether you've got 1 kid or 3 kids, it's that mental load and pressure and working, and Christmas, it's like, oh my God. So I was delighted to go to hospital and be put to sleep.
Oh my God,
I was waiting for that moment. I laid in a bed, a lady wrapped me in a blanket. Oh, it was lovely.
And you're actually put to sleep.
I was,
and it's that deep
out for the world, Louise.
Mate,
the anaesthetist came in. Any allergies? Oh, even if there is, just inject me. When I had this procedure done last time, the anaesthetist remembered me from 3 years ago, and he said, "Do the countdown till you fall asleep." And obviously, I'm really competitive, so I was like 1, 2, 3, and then they'd put the oxygen mask over me, and I was like 12, 13. I was like, "I'm going, but I'm not gone." And then went to sleep. And I counted to 18.
Did you?
And I was so proud of myself. But my fail was, right, so you have to do a wee. So I had to stay in hospital overnight. I was in quite a bit of discomfort. So I was literally, Christmas, I was off my on dihydrocodeine, morphine, which was amazing when I went to stay with my in-laws.
Oh, the dream.
I was just popping pills. So then they were like, you need to do a wee. So they took the catheter out and I was like, cool. Went onto the toilet and I was like, like press the buzzer. I was like, sorry, I can't wee. And they said, oh, just give it a little bit more time, but you can't go home till you've done a couple of wees. So I said, okay. So I was drinking loads, my bladder was full, and I was sitting on the toilet and I couldn't wee at all. So they said, what we're going to have to do is, they didn't talk like that. They just said, what we're going to have to do is catheterize you again. and go home for a couple of days. And if you can't, you're going to have to be catheterised over Christmas.
Right.
So I was like, I turned 40 in September, Louise. I walked out the hospital with a bag. Like, what is going on? It was attached to my leg, okay? And the fail came in that I was obviously medicated. So I was a bit like, oh. And I couldn't get up because my stomach was so swollen and sore. And Annabelle woke a few times in the night, so my husband had to get up. So at one point she was like, Mommy! And I couldn't pick her up or anything, like for 2 weeks. So I was like nudging my husband and he was like, babe, will you stop nudging me? I'm not snoring on purpose. And I was like, no, I'm not. You need to get Annabelle. So Andy got up. Now, when you have a catheter during the day, it's attached to your leg, but you have to have a night bag as well on a night time because that really fills up. So I had my wee bag at the side of the bed and Andy gets up, runs round the bed to go run past my wee bag, trips over on it, head first onto the floor, pulls the bag.
Oh my God.
So then next thing, I'm like, because I felt like they put the catheter in there, blow this balloon up. Literally, I thought my womb was hanging off the ceiling.
Oh, babe.
So I had to grab onto it. Then the tube popped out, went everywhere. And then at that point, Andy's going, because he's fallen into the wall. And then Annabelle's screaming. And I couldn't get up. I couldn't breathe for laughing. And it was like,
I'm glad that you could laugh at it though.
God.
Was Andy laughing or was he like
he was livid. Louise, my husband very rarely laughs.
Would have been livid.
He was so angry. And by the time we'd sorted that out, Annabelle actually fell back to sleep again.
Oh, silver lining. That's a win. Sleep training without realising it.
Yeah. So oh my God, it was so funny.
So you're fine now, all sorted.
Yeah, just some stitches to come out and then I'm good. Yeah.
So recently, my 10-year-old now, in fact, my Basil and Sonny are both kind of doing this. If we're watching TV and there's a kissing scene, they're both like,
do they?
Yeah, and they're like, they get really embarrassed.
Louise, as ever, we're choosing optimism thanks to Jet2 holidays. We love Jet2 holidays. We love holidays.
Nothing beats.
Oh, the thought of like being on a plane, going somewhere warm. I know it's like chaotic with kids and stuff, but it's when you get there on holiday, it's delicious.
When you step off the plane and that warm air just slaps you in the face, you're like,
yeah, I've arrived. And then the kids are like, Mummy! And you're like, shush, just give me this one moment, please.
Give me this second.
But we do ask you to send in your wins of the week. So this one's been sent in from Abby, which says, I saw this hack on social media and thought I'd give it a go. Basically, it takes so long for my 4-year-old to put her shoes on, a coat and get ready for bed or anything where we just need to get moving. So the hack I saw was to set a timer on your phone, show them that we have 2 minutes on the timer. And when the timer finishes, the alarm will go off and we need to be done by then. I set the timer and I could not believe it, but she could see the timer counting down and wanted to beat it. We were out the door within 1 minute. What an absolute win.
That is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's so simple.
Yeah.
And yet, I've never done that.
Well, and my son is so competitive and he's a right stato.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, Bradley, if you can get dressed within like 3 minutes, I'll give you a sweet. Yeah. That's how I parent. It's just bribe. Me pre-kids.
How's the dentist?
Yeah. Expensive, to be honest. Right, yeah. It's like, another cavity. But yeah, I can bribe them in that way. But if he knows it's like a reward with like timing or me and
excellent win.
Me and my best mate, we have this game that we play where when we go out and have a drink, I'll be like, Helen, I've drunk more than you. And then she'll be like neck a drink and then she'll pour it up and be like, Hannah, I've drunk more than you. And what we found is that's probably the worst game you can play with a friend. It's like being a fresher.
But also, I quite like it. You did it to me. I don't know if you remember.
I did.
Yeah, you did it to me. You're like, I've had more gin than you. I was like, oh yeah.
But you were quite shocked and you were a bit like, okay. And I was like, sup up, Louise. You'll be getting dehydrated.
I was like, oh, okay, I like this.
And then you absolutely drunk me under the table. So I was like, I'm not playing that game with you again.
Don't play with me. No, but that was, I think that's a great win. Great win of the week.
Nothing beats that just booked feeling, especially when you know you've secured your dream Jet2 holiday early and can spread the cost all the way to summer. Get that just booked feeling now with just a £60 deposit per person. Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. Package holidays you can trust.
Today, we're absolutely delighted to welcome Hilary Whitehall, podcaster, actress, former doula, and long-standing wife to Michael.
And also mother to Jack, Molly, and Barnaby, and grandmother to 3 gorgeous little ones.
Yeah.
Hilary, thanks for joining us.
4 little ones.
Well, yes.
Yes, there's one incoming in a couple of weeks.
I could see when I said
Yes.
3, I was
Yes.
like, you were like
There's
going
one
on
incoming.
Incoming.
Yes,
Oh
there
my
is.
God, that's so exciting.
Very exciting. My youngest son, Barney, is about to have his first baby with his lovely
his
wife.
first.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, because you were a doula, are a doula?
I was a doula for 10 years. Yes, I retrained at one stage when it became apparent I needed to help with the family coffers
Yeah.
and wasn't getting much work as an actress. So I thought, I know, I'll go and retrain. And I became a doula for 10 years and absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I always think I would love to be
my
a doula. I would absolutely love, I think I'd love it if I wasn't doing this. But
I think in another life I would have been a midwife if I could.
Really?
Yeah.
I rather like, is it Emma Willis who's
Yes.
done a lot?
Yeah,
hasn't she?
yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
loved that. As soon as I got pregnant the 3rd time round,
Yeah.
I was obsessed with watching Emma Willis on those
Yeah,
programs
it was
because
amazing.
it's like one born every minute.
Yeah,
You need to see
Yeah.
other people to mentally prepare yourself for it, don't
Absolutely,
you?
yeah.
Before how
Yeah.
old were your kids then when you trained to be a doula?
So Jack, I think must have been about 8, 9, maybe 10. Molly 7, 8, 9, and Barney about 6. So again, I didn't do birth doulaing because that was too impactful on my life. So I did postnatal doulaing.
What does that entail then? I've
So
haven't
that
actually
is-
heard of a postnatal.
So postnatal doulaing is somebody who just needs a bit of support. I mean, it's really mothering the mother.
yeah.
Oh, that's so
So-
nice. God, we
Oh my
so
God,
need
you
that.
need
Because a lot
mothering,
of
don't
people
you?
don't have they don't have their mothers at all because they're no longer with us. But also, we're of a generation. I was of a generation where my mother was working full time when I had my baby. She couldn't just take months off and look
No.
after
Yeah,
me
yeah.
and the baby.
yeah.
So she'd take a week off, bless her, and then it was like, bye, I'm off to work now again, and I was left to my
Yeah,
own
and it's
devices.
terrifying.
It's terrifying.
It's
There's no
terrifying.
instruction
And then the
manual.
husbands go back up. I think my
Yep.
husband had 2 weeks off work,
Yeah.
and I remember him going back, and I was like, well, what the hell do I do now?
The great thing about being a doula is that what you're trying to do is to enable the mums to look after the baby themselves. You're giving them confidence, and you're getting rid of all the guilt that's associated with doing it wrong, etc. But you're not there all the time. What I used to do is I'd do a 4-hour shift. I'd either do a morning or an afternoon, or sometimes I'd double head and do 2 people in a day. And they then ask you their raft of questions in the 4 hours. I would always try and make mine go to bed.
Oh,
So go and have a
that's
sleep
the
whilst I just
dream.
cook the dinner, look
Hilary.
after
Oh
the
my
baby.
God.
Where
wash the
were
laundry.
you?
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
were you 9 years ago when I needed you?
I didn't even get tea and toast.
Oh my
gosh,
God.
there's a new thing I heard. After you have a baby in hospital, you get tea and toast. I
Do
did
you?
not get that.
Wow.
No, I did not get
I'd
it.
put in a complaint right now.
But they owe me tea and toast. Also, sorry, I heard placentas are worth £50,000. And then I read the comments, like, yes, it is. They're like sacred. I'm worth £150,000 from someone.
Wow.
Oh, no, I ate my 3rd one.
All right, okay.
Allegedly, who knows?
Did you take cord blood as well?
No.
Oh, okay. You
What's
didn't take
that?
stem cells where you can take blood from the cord at
No.
the time of birth.
That's genius.
Yeah, and then you freeze it, and then God forbid that you don't ever need it, but if you do need it, you've got stem cells.
Of course. So
Yeah.
that's a brilliant idea to
It's
do.
not a cheap procedure, I believe, but it is a thing.
No, but stem
So-
cells are like,
Yeah. And they're obviously
Amazing.
designed for
Yeah.
that person.
I'm
anyone
literally
listening,
fascinated by
if
this.
you're about to have a baby,
Yeah.
well, ask your daughter-in-law's about to give birth.
Yeah. Yes,
you
I
make you
will.
50 grand on
Yeah.
the placenta and then
placenta,
spend
yeah.
it on the
Because-
stem
yeah.
cells.
Did you help with Jack and his baby as a doula?
Yes, I did go over, and there's an amazing woman who I worked with at one stage. I trained with her, called Claire Byam-Cook, who's a breastfeeding expert. As with all things to do with childbirth, of course, she slightly divides opinion. I'm very much in her camp. I think she's amazing because she's very empowering, but also takes the guilt out of it all. If for whatever reason you can't feed, she says, look, you need a baby that's flourishing. You don't need to beat yourself up about this.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't work for everybody.
No.
It works for most people, but it doesn't work for everybody.
And
she's-
that's okay.
yeah, that
Yeah.
is okay. And she's very good at just getting to the nub of a problem. And she came in after Jack had had his baby and sorted out 1 or 2 little bumps in the road, and then it was all tickety-boo.
Oh, lovely.
But also, I obviously was very much wanting to get my hands on them. I like to get my hands on my grandchildren.
But how do you find that? Because it's like daughter-in-law,
It's
mother-in-law boundary.
That's one of my notes that I wrote down, actually. When I had my babies, I've got 3 older brothers, 2 of whom had children before me. And my mother said when I delivered Jack, she said, "Oh my God, at last a baby I could get my hands on." I mean, I'm not quite in that position because Roxy's very generous with me and very much inclusive of me. Obviously, her mum does a lot for her, but also she will also ask me to do things as well, which is lovely.
That is lovely.
Yeah.
But you're so right. There's that expression.
There's just one step. You're one step removed.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I've got a sister and a brother. And so when my sister and I had our babies, my mum was like, I think my mum came to the delivery room, after the baby was born, like immediately. Yeah. And then I remember my husband saying, "Well, can my mum come?" I was like, "No, I just need my mum.
I need my mum.
I need my mum."
Yeah.
And he didn't get it. I was like, it's not like who's the favourite grandmother. It's I need my mum here. Yeah.
Do you know who came into my delivery room? This is a good story. This is a true story. Okay. And we're talking about 37 years ago when perhaps protocols were a little bit different, but also there was a reason why this happened. I delivered Jack and I'd been induced. So it was ultimately a very quick labour. So it was a bit of a mess down there, if I'm honest. So I was waiting to be stitched up. And Michael had made a couple of phone calls, one of whom was to Nigel Havers, who was going to be Jack's godfather, and said, "The baby's arrived. It's so exciting." He said, "Oh, I'm up in town. I'm going to an event. I'll pop in."
Oh, God. This is why you were waiting to be stitched up?
Yep.
Legs
I'm
in
in the
stirrups.
delivery, legs in stirrups. And Nigel arrives in black tie for this event, goes to the nurse's station, and because he at that point was incredibly famous, I think they just forgot the protocols, or maybe there was a miscommunication, because he said, "I'm here to see Mrs. Whitehall," and they said, "She's in there." And I literally had my feet up in the stirrups like that, and through my feet.
No, he came
Nigel.
He saw everything.
Literally everything.
Oh my God.
I think he's been in therapy ever since.
Oh my God.
He's seen more of me, well, as much of me as my obstetrician.
And your husband.
Oh no.
And I then sort
How
of
are you
managed to
doing?
find a bit of gown and do that.
Oh my gosh.
So that was my
that's
visitor in the
brilliant.
delivery
That is
room.
absolutely. I love
And
how you
he's-
were like, "I was a bit of a mess."
Yeah.
We're all like, "We know what you mean, babe.
Yeah.
We know what you mean."
Yeah.
Is this something that comes up in conversation at dinner parties?
I have actually done it on stage.
Have
before
you?
now,
Have
yes.
you? Fantastic.
It's such a
Brilliant.
good tell, and he was such a good sport about it. And said, let's just draw a veil over that.
Traumatised him for life. And
Yeah.
was Michael at the business end when you were giving birth?
No, in fact, the obstetrician said at one point, because I'd had a couple of miscarriages before I had Jack, so I was quite an anxious delivering mum. He at one point said to Michael, "Would you like to put some gloves on and help me with this?" He said, "The money I'm paying you can do it yourself." So yeah, he wasn't down the business end. And weirdly, the obstetrician was also in black tie because he was going to a gynecological dinner that night.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like Downton Abbey in there.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
And
love
which
that.
out of all your labours was the nicest experience? I'm not going to say easiest. I mean
they
the
were all
nicest.
different. They were all different. I've done it all ways. So Jack, I was induced because I was a bit late, and the anaesthetist didn't quite get the epidural in the right way.
Oh,
so
gosh.
only half of it was numbed and half of it
Oh,
it was all a bit of a
no.
that's why I think it
God.
was a bit of a mess, because it was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
quick too.
Yeah.
So she was trying to get it in, and I was going, I think I've got to push. Anyway, that was all a bit of a nightmare. Molly, I had nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was
Is Molly your
Molly's
your
my
third?
middle. No, she's
middle,
my
right,
middle.
Right, okay.
She shot out like a bullet. That was absolutely fine. And Barney, again, I went into labour and it went on and on and on. And they came and they said, "We're going to break your waters." And I said, "Right, if you're coming near me breaking the water, I know what happens when you break waters. I'm having an epidural in before you do it."
Oh, that's smart.
Because I didn't want the same as had happened with Jack.
Yeah, that's smart.
So I've done it always.
And I presume, did you go to a private hospital with all three then?
Well, the problem was that I'd had all these issues before I had Jack. And so I went with one specific doctor. And then, of course, once you've done it with one person,
Yeah.
sort of think, well, I'm going to just have to stick with this now. So I'm afraid at vast expense, we did go to the private hospital.
And was it
each time.
like the Portland where you get afternoon tea and a glass of herb after?
Did you get tea
Well,
and toast?
So when I went to the Portland with Jack, Jack was born exactly 1 month before Beatrice.
Yeah.
So Fergie was incoming to that hospital.
Yeah.
It was all being redecorated.
For Fergie?
For Fergie.
No.
Yes. I said, you didn't do this for me.
Oh my God.
So
Why is she getting
slightly
preferential
yes,
treatment?
I
Yes.
bet she got her
Hey.
tea and toast.
Yeah, I bet
Yes.
she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then with Barney was born very late at night, and the whole evening was predicated by Michael wanting something to eat. He behaved very badly. The whole thing. So what? I rang a friend at one point and she said, "Michael needs something to eat. He's not being very nice. Can you bring some food?" And she brought, because the kitchens had shut by then.
Yeah.
Even in the Portland hospital, so no tea and
And
toast.
I guess there was no Deliveroo back then either.
No,
Wasn't as if
forget
you
it.
could just
Yeah.
get Mac
So
and
she
D's in.
came
Yeah.
with food for Michael to just ease the mood.
Oh my
was his back
gosh.
hurting from the chairs being uncomfortable?
Exactly. He'd had a long day, at work, and then had to have all this malarkey.
Hot in here, isn't
But
it?
you've been married, is it 38 years?
40 years.
40 years! Oh my God,
The Ruby
congratulations.
wedding
Wow.
is incoming. Yeah.
Tell us,
Oh my
how
gosh.
have you stayed
I
married
need a
for
medal.
40 years?
I need a medal.
Well, yeah.
I need a damehood for it,
Yes.
to be honest. Yeah.
You can be Dame Hilary from
Yeah.
now on.
I'll tell you the one thing that has never changed, though, because happened on day one and it's never changed, is that he still makes me laugh.
Oh,
Humour
that's-
is our
yes.
watchword.
I was going to say, the banter in your house must be quite phenomenal.
Never stops.
Is
And
it is it
still-
exactly how it is? Like
It
what
is.
we see on camera, is it the same at home?
Absolutely. Yeah. People always say, "Oh, it's so you're so good at playing that part, Michael." I go, "There's no part being played. That is how he is." There's great extremes. It's either ranting or laughing.
And
I
how
love
did you
that.
both meet?
We met at a party.
Right.
Yeah, he was.
Don't tell me a black tie party, because these are...
No,
Yeah.
it was a summer party,
Oh, was
actually.
it?
He was wearing a white suit. So I this is probably very, very inappropriate. Your producer will have to make a decision. Our producer always spends his life tearing his hair out on the Wuthering Whitehalls as to what is cancelable and what isn't. But anyway, I'll go with it. He was wearing a white suit, so I assumed he was gay, because the white suit was a sort of very extravagant thing back then in the early 80s. It was like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
He thought I was married because I'd met someone a few minutes before Michael who asked me 20 questions. And then we met Michael because I couldn't shake this chap off. He asked the same 20 questions and this chap kept answering the questions because he just asked them. So it's like, hello, I'm Michael. Who are you? And he said, oh, this is Hilary. I'm what was his name? Steve. I'm Steve. This is Hilary. So he assumed we were married.
Wow.
Oh, right. What do you do, Hilary? Oh, Hilary is an actress. And he was American. He kept
do you
answering
think he was
for me.
doing it to make sure that Michael wasn't
I think
coming
he
near
was
you?
just marking his territory, thinking I
absolutely.
got
He's
in
like,
there
"I peed
first.
all over you.
Yeah,
I was
and
just
it was
going to say, at
like,
least he didn't on you.
Yeah.
Every
Yes,
cloud.
metaphorically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we met. And then called him and I said, could I come in and chat to you because I need an agent? He said, yeah. So in I went. I was wearing a very short skirt with bright orange neon pixie boots. I mean, we're talking about the early 80s.
Sounds
remember?
amazing.
I think I may even have had a perm at that point.
If you
as
didn't
well.
have a perm, I'd be disappointed with the story.
Exactly.
So I like it.
So he said, are you hot? I said, yes, it is quite hot in here. And he said, opened the door and standing in the doorway was Dame Judi Dench. It was like,
amazing.
Oh my goodness.
I love her.
and she went, she looked at me in my pixie boots and she looked at Michael and she said, Michael, I think you ought to keep the door open. Just saying, we don't want any misbehaving from you. Thank you very much. Look at you.
Wow.
And I thought, oh my God, it's not only Dame Judi Dench, but she's doing jokes now.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
joking. We're bantering with Dame Judi Dench. So that was very exciting. He always says, Hilary was looking for an agent. I was looking for a wife. I think I did better than she did. So,
And you've got quite an age gap as well.
we have just the 21
years.
Yeah.
And was there an issue with that at first?
Certainly was with my mother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't he say something live on Lorraine? Like your mother was
So we went, well, the first time we met, my mother's, when I rang in the evening for a sort of debrief, the problem was that Michael was 44. He was an agent. He had been married.
Right.
And he drove a Jaguar XJS. As far as my mother was concerned, that was it.
Oh,
this was a
absolutely, yeah.
non-starter.
Yeah.
And he bought her a very expensive box, a very large box of Godiva chocolates.
Right.
So her first line was, I can't be bought. I said, what do you mean you can't be bought? She said, that box of chocolates was ridiculously
Yeah, well, give them here then.
ostentatious.
I'll have them.
Yeah. I said, I noticed you whipped them away quite quickly. But then her parting shot was, we're reserving judgment. So I said, okay, reserve away. But as far as I'm concerned, this is the one. So
And still is, like 40 years on.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. She came round in the end, but
when I met my husband, my dad actually did a full police check on him.
Did he really?
Imminently. So I met my husband on the TV show Gladiators 17 years ago. And
was he a gladiator?
No, he was a head trainer for the Gladiators, and I went on as a contestant.
Yes.
So my husband's coach was a Scottish referee, John Anderson.
Right.
And that's how Andy, my husband, got into it. So we met on the first day of the auditions. And I thought, he's quite fit. And then I thought, don't keep looking, because he's like, I don't want him to think that's how I'm going to get on. I want to get on the show and stuff. Anyway, long story short, we swapped numbers. And my husband had he got paid for Gladiators. He didn't have any money before this. And he'd bought a Mercedes. He was a single guy at the time, got this Mercedes, 27, had a payout. Was
it a sports car?
It was a sports car.
Okay.
Now, what happened was he came from, his family live in York, and he came through to Scarborough, where my family live, my parents live. Mm-hmm. My husband came in, and he looked at my mum. He'd never met her before. He's like, "Oh, hi, Christine." He's like, "Your hair looks lovely." Now, to my dad, he was like, "That's a sweetie wife. Someone that's just saying what you want to hear. You know, I can't be bought, box of chocolates, compliments."
Yeah.
Next thing, my dad disappeared. And I thought, I don't know where my dad's gone. My dad went a bit weird. And because I'd said, I really like this guy.
Yeah.
And basically what he'd done, my dad had gone outside, got my husband's private registration plate.
Yeah.
So when Andy left, my dad said, just so you know, he's hired that car from the Mercedes garage down the road. And I was like, I don't think he has, Dad. He was like, he has. He's never had any convictions. But...
Was your father in the force?
He was. And I was like, Dad, but he'd actually retired at that point. But I don't know who he'd spoken to, but he did a full police check. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So I was like, well, at least my husband
in,
hasn't got any criminal convictions.
So we're on this podcast, right, to talk about parenting fails or parenting wins. Have you got anything you want to share with us?
Yes. One of my worst moments as a parent was I managed to run over my youngest son with a Renault Espace.
Oh my gosh.
I literally thought I've killed him.
Oh
because
my God.
It was one of those miscommunications. There's a lot of kids milling around. I say, I'm just going to go to the supermarket. I'm just going to get the car. I'm just going to back the car out of the carport. I say to the general assembled people, thinking one of them will think, toddler Barney, better just keep an eye on him.
Oh, no.
So I back the car out. I hear a thump as I back it out, and I hear a scream, and I think, and I have actually hit Barney. I think what I did is I was obviously going very fast, but I'd glanced him, and thank God he'd fallen backwards, not forwards. Because otherwise I would have run over him.
I bet you didn't sleep.
I then scooped him up because he was crying. And I said, I've got to take him to the hospital. So off we drove into this sort of middle of nowhere in Provence. We finally found Aix-en-Provence Hospital. I rushed in, clinging to him, and Michael had come with me, and I was going, Mon bébé est mort! Mon bébé est mort! At this point, Barney, of course, had recovered and was roaring with laughter, in his nappy. Anyway, it had a good outcome, but it just shows you that, you make assumptions and that's when things go wrong.
That's when you always find, I find when my parents come or my in-laws come to the house, and I'll say, I'm just going upstairs to have a shower. Yeah. Is that okay? Does anyone mind if I go upstairs? There's 3 adults there, my husband and my in-laws, and then our 3 kids. Yeah. My assumption then is that 3 adults are on alert to go, Hannah's not here. Yes. We should all zonal mark and just make sure. And that's when I'll find Annabelle's come upstairs and got my lipstick out of my dressing room, put it on the carpet. And I'm just like, absolutely. Annabelle's here. And they're like, but it's as if they're completely oblivious because they think, well, we've got adults here.
No, you have to be very, very specific with your instructions and say, I am now going to be unavailable for the next hour. These children are over to you. Okay.
It's so true. It's so true.
And I find actually now as a grandmother, the responsibility of looking after other people's children who are related to me, but they are not my children, is overwhelming sometimes. I mean, the thing I dread more than anything else is when my daughter says, can you do school pickup, nursery pickup? And I go, yes. And she said, by the way, they've got their scooters with them.
Oh, God. I mean, even I dread that. Oh, my gosh.
The responsibility of a 4.5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old with scooters and me.
Both of them with a scooter as well.
It's a nightmare.
But you actually do it. But you do it. My mum would be like, absolutely
no
not.
Way.
No.
Well, it's too late because the scooters are already at the school and the nursery.
You
and
ain't getting a 2.5-year-old into a pushchair when the sibling's on a scooter
No,
anyway.
you are not. No.
Absolutely
do you
not.
ever end up just carrying the scooters? Do they just go, I don't want these anymore?
No,
they
there's
want
a
it.
hill from the
Oh, of
nursery.
course there is.
Oh, of course
There's
there
a
is.
hill, which gives me even more anxiety because when they get going, I mean, Peggy's quite good with her foot now as a brake. Woody, not a clue.
And
Just
next to a
Woody.
main
Peggy and
road.
Woody.
Amazing names.
Yeah.
I love that. Peggy Woody.
Peggy
oh my
and
God,
Woody.
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you find that you're looking at grandmotherhood differently to motherhood? Like, do you...
Well, yes and no. I mean, there are two tenets which I do instill. I mean, I'm definitely the bossy grandmother, that's for sure, because I'm very big on manners.
Oh,
and always
absolutely.
well with
My
mine.
mum's so big on manners.
Pleases,
yeah.
thank yous, looking at people, engaging with people. I used to do it with my own. And if you don't get in their early doors and nag them, you end up with uncivilized teenagers. I mean, you do end up with uncivilized teenagers, but then they remember ultimately the training. It's just that thing of pleases and thank yous. I've got it at the moment, particularly with Woody and indeed Jack's Elsie. I get, I'm not hearing the right word. I'm not hearing the P word, the please word. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing that. What do you say? What's the magic word?
And that's when
not
they
hearing
repeat,
it.
you say, what do you say? And they go, what do you say? And you're like, no, you say. It's like, you say. No, and it's like, no, just say please.
Yes, just say please.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
do you know,
you.
I've actually got my kids now to say please and thank yous to Alexa.
Oh, bless.
Because you just say, Alexa, do this, do that.
It's not, yes,
And
exactly.
it's like, but I don't want them to speak like that in
Yeah.
real life. So I
No.
was like, you have to say please and thank you.
Yes.
So like, Alexa, please can
Quite
you do
right
this?
too.
And I think, why not? That's nice. And I'm really hot on manners, like table manners, because it was drilled into me.
Yeah.
And it's nice when you see it make
A difference.
So my son was at a play date. And
How old?
He's 10.
Yeah.
And
the parents afterwards, they're like, he's so well behaved. His table manners. And they're going, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. They're like, he asked if he could please may I leave the table.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, thank you, Sonny, so much. Thank you.
And you're like,
excellent.
well done.
I know.
That's
It's
me,
like,
that is.
Proud
that's my
mummy,
parenting
yes.
win. I did it.
Do you know what? That's more important than GCSEs and A-levels, to be honest.
Oh,
Is
good. Excellent.
Good mannered.
Like,
But I mean, the other day I had the two of them for bath time, Peggy and Woody, and I said to Peggy, okay, Peggy, do you want to have a bath? She said, no, I'm not ready yet. So I said, okay, fine, you stay here. I'll bath Woody and then you need to hop in the bath. And she was playing with her, dolls and things. So I got Woody out of the bath, and he's a unit. He's a big unit, Woody, and he was struggling a bit and everything. And I had him in the towel. I went into Peggy's room and I said, right, Pegs, you need to get in the bath. And I had my back to her, and I was wrestling with Woody. I said, Pegs, you need to get in the bath. She said, what's the magic word, Gramsa?
Oh,
and I
there
thought,
you
yes,
go.
she's right. She's
There
banged
you
to right.
go.
I said, yep, you're right, Pegs. Please will you get in the bath, Peggy?
So there you go.
I stand corrected, children.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I was wrong. Okay, not wrong often, but
you're
yeah.
like, right, come
My,
on, let me deal with this little one as
yeah,
you're trying to wrestle a
exactly,
child
yeah.
after a bath.
My daughter's 6, and the other day I said to her, what's the magic word? And she said, now.
Yeah, fair point.
like-
Again, yeah. I mean, I don't know how you deal with screen time. That must be a nightmare. But I mean, I'm very much of the carrot rather than the stick approach. I like to try and, I mean, it doesn't always work, and you do sometimes have to employ the figurative stick. But one of the things that I did do with mine, and I noticed that Molly and Toby have done it with their two, which is this was the pocket money chart that I made for my children.
Oh,
Oh,
You
my
see?
word.
Look.
how does this work then?
So, I mean, you can tell how long ago it was because I start with 5p.
Oh my God, I
I was
love
going to
this.
say,
then
is
there's
that
a slight-
£5 increments?
No, 5p increments because we get up to £1.25. I mean, they were quite young at the time, so
Is this weekly?
this was just generally around the time. If they cleared the table or up it would go.
That is superb.
What do we
But did you
think?
not find the siblings would secretly move their brothers?
Yeah,
or
to be
whatever
quite
down?
on it, exactly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love this.
Who was
the
the
pocket
best?
money
Who was
chart?
the best at pocket money out of the three of
Oh,
them?
I mean,
Well,
I've
you've
got to be
scores here.
honest.
Does this mean anything?
no, that's Jack. That Jack wrote that. I don't know what that because
Jack's
I mean,
9 out of 10.
well, yeah. Oh, well, maybe it is 9
Molly's
out of 10.
I don't know if
A
that's
5
a 9
and
or
then
a
a
5
6.
and then
Yeah,
a 6.
because it's not their ages, that's for sure. I mean, I'm going to be
amazing.
honest, and this is a great generalisation.
That's brilliant.
But Molly would argue, no, actually, Jack. I think it was Jack that said it. He said, "Oh God, I've got 2 mothers because I've got you and I've got Molly because Molly, middle child, only girl.
Yeah.
She would do things like if we were going on holiday, I would usually put everything out on the spare bed and try and get everything organised. Molly would pack for herself, and then she got to an age where she'd say, "Do you want me to do the boys?" I said, "Yeah, would you mind?" She said, "It's just easier, isn't it, if I just do it for them?"
I totally relate to that. I totally relate to
and
that.
And you've both got girls at the end, haven't you?
So we've both got 2 boys and a girl.
Yeah.
My daughter, who's the youngest, is so hands-on when it comes to packing. She clears the table. She puts stuff in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
How old is she?
She's 6.
Yeah.
So I've got this to come. My daughter's 2.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So they're more.
They're just on it. Like whenever we go away on holiday, she will pack her own bags.
Yeah.
And it's done. She's got the suitcase by the front door, and I'll say to my boys, I'm like, have you packed? No.
What?
But will she put wild stuff in, or is it like practical?
Bit of both.
Yeah.
So then I'll have a look in her suitcase, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. And then I'll like add a few bits.
Yeah.
And then she caught me doing it. She was absolutely disgusted with me.
Was she?
How dare you?
Yeah.
That's my suitcase. And she took everything out that I put in there. So we went on holiday.
Did you put it in your suitcase? No.
I did, but she wouldn't touch it.
Really?
She would not. So on this holiday, she basically wore 1 pair of leggings for about a week. And she was just like, that's what I've packed. That's what I'm wearing. I was like, fine.
She's going to go far, isn't she?
Well, she's either going to be like a multimillionaire or she's going to end up in prison. I'm not sure yet. Who would you say has been the easiest of your children?
Probably Molly.
Molly, yeah.
Yeah. I guess because I'm a woman, she's a girl. Probably Molly, because she's very diligent. The boys, the thing that annoys me about the boys more than anything else is that they'll say, "Oh, I haven't got any clean pants." You go, "No, you've definitely got clean pants up." "No, I've looked, they haven't got any." I said, if I go upstairs and see clean pants, I'm going to go nuts because I know they're up there. Well, I've looked, I can't see them, and I go up there and I go straight to them. And I go,
it's straight there.
It's a boy thing.
It's a boy thing.
Or they just leave stuff like their jackets. Like we go to a cafe, and my middle child Logan, he's 7.
Yeah.
He remembers everything, and I think he'll dress himself. His room's tidy.
Bless him.
He sleeps. He's great. He eats everything.
Yeah.
My first son, like my
Your maverick,
leaves everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Jack.
is that because I overly mothered him when he was younger?
It's just who they are.
Or he's just
mine's
fucking
the same.
incompetent.
My eldest
sometimes.
loses Peekit after Peekit.
Yeah. Same with Jack. Jack would lose anything.
Yeah, just lose
So
it. And he's just
expensive.
like, And I always say to them, because they say the same, I can't find this, I can't find that, and then I find it. And I always say to them, look with your eyes, not with your mouth.
Yes, I agree.
It's it'll be in the lost property somewhere.
Yeah.
And then he comes home and smells like an attic because it's been in the lost property for the term. And I'm like, it's cost me a fortune.
I have to say that having had 3 children myself, now grandchildren, and worked as a doula for 10 years where I looked after newborns with mummies and new mummies, I'm a great nature. I think you can tweak things with nurture, but I think we come out who we are.
Oh, absolutely.
I really do.
We're born with our personalities, and that's that.
Like, you can tweak it, but
that's I totally.
We are
agree.
who we are. So Jack was always chaotic and eccentric. Molly always diligent. Barney's a bit of both. He is very diligent in things he's interested in. If he's not interested, he's not remotely diligent.
And do they all get on with each other?
They do. I mean, they have their moments. I mean, they've generally speaking, because I had 3 under 4. They travelled as a rump. You know, they travelled together.
Under 4.
I did. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Not quite what I was intending, but that's how it panned out.
3 under 4. Crikey.
That is chaos.
Wow,
it was
when
chaos.
did it stop being chaos for you?
Did it ever stop being chaos?
Any day now.
I mean, there's a period between about 5 and 12 when you've got a nice window. You're in it now.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
That's nice.
Because once they get into the teenage years, you're into a whole other landscape.
Were you quite open in your family about the whole sex and everything?
Yes. I mean, I think they get a lot of it at school now, but you just obviously want to try and augment that with, you need to get into, if you need to be having sex when you're in a proper relationship, not just shagging around and all of that. Fortunately, Molly was quite a late developer.
Yeah.
She was quite little, so she was a bit frightened about going out. So I didn't really get into any of that until she was 16. And then I literally said to her, because I thought we just need to bite the bullet. And I said, right, we're going to the family planning clinic. Age 16, because she by then was beginning to, I think she was lurching into a sort of boyfriend situation, proper serious one. I said, we're going to the family planning clinic, we're going to get the pill. She said, well, do we have to? I said, yep, we're doing it. We'll do it together. It's the family planning clinic I used to go to. It's where the baby clinic was as well. And she said, okay. I said, I'm not coming in with you, but I'm just going to come with you for a bit of support. So off we went. She got the pill and that was then. And I said, but you do need to think about condoms as well. I was very upfront about it. Jack, when he went off on a school trip, I put condoms in his suitcase and he was absolutely furious.
I think that's brilliant.
How old was he at the time?
17. He had a thing in his set where he said, my mother packed condoms for me on a school trip, and then I came back and I had more condoms. I don't know how that happened. He said, I didn't use any of them. But I did, obviously, because I grew up, I very much became into sort of sexual relationships at the time that AIDS was happening. So very big on condoms because it was sort of hammered into us at that point.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
So yes, condoms were a thing, which we discussed, and they're always pretty open about it.
Yeah. Did they ever tell you like when they lost their virginity?
No.
I remember my mum overhearing my conversation with my best friend. She was furious.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. She did not. It was so. It wasn't really something we discussed in our house,
right?
But I want it to be something that we discuss in my house now with my kids. I want it to be like an open, normal, safe space.
Yeah.
For that, because
it's very difficult when they get to an age where they want to have people to stay over, and the rule was that they weren't technically going to have them in their rooms staying over, but I know full well that things went on in the house.
Yeah,
I mean, the number of times I had to sneak people out of the house before Michael got up with Jack,
really?
particularly. Michael had this habit of bursting into his room with the Times and say, right, at the time it was Ken Livingstone. Livingston's back. There's an article here about Ken Livingstone. And Jack had literally thrown the duvet over the top of somebody, and she's lying there whilst Michael then reads this very long article.
And Michael's got no idea.
No idea at all.
Oh my word.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's a thing where he kind of did to embarrass him. I was just genuinely oblivious to the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So how long would he be standing there for? And this poor woman's
3 or 4 minutes, reading an article. And
a lot can happen in 3 or 4 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
Jack's going, well, that's really interesting. Thank you. Thanks, Dad.
Oh my God.
Thank you now. Off, please.
Yeah. What would he have done had he caught the girl?
I think he would have been not happy. He was very much of a different generation to me, where it was, it's like, not in my house.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
But he was quite open about it, though. He was quite open about, if you're going to have sex, that's fine. It's none of my business. But, don't sort of flaunt it under my nose, as it were, I think was the...
Yeah.
Like in my house kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know, it really makes me laugh when you see, when kids draw pictures and it'll be like a football boot next to a ball and it looks like a penis next to a ball. So like I've just kind of looked at this.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
This is the sort of thing. I just looked at it and I was like, what was that?
It's a Nike penis.
I love it.
A Nike penis. I don't know if you can see that there.
Yeah.
But that just reminded me of one of those pictures.
Yes.
I love that.
What else have you got in your stash of goodies here?
I've got my favourite picture of all time, because the other thing I do feel is position in family is critical. I think so much is dictated by where you come in a family unit. I was the youngest and I was the only girl. I'm a bit like your daughters. I had 3 brothers ahead of me, and I was pretty much ignored because my parents were exhausted by the time I came along. So I pretty much brought myself up.
Oh my God, maybe that's what my daughter's doing.
But this picture here sort of sums up my children. It's my favourite picture of all time. Sorry, there.
Oh, that is absolutely
a gorgeous
picture. It will not surprise you to learn that Jack very much loved dressing up. Always. So it was his idea that we were going to get dressed up for this picture.
Oh, was it?
And you can see that Molly is thinking, okay, yep, right, I'm going to wear what I want to wear.
Oh, God,
I'll
brilliant.
do it, but with fairy wings.
And Barney couldn't give a really. Not interested.
He's waiting for
all.
a snack, isn't
And
he?
it sums up their personalities.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Then
lovely.
you see, this is another example where we went to see, I think it was Trooping of the Colour, and we were in Green Park. Jack wanted to dress as a soldier. So look, he's dressed as a soldier.
That's adorable.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
Guys,
so nice
if anyone's
you've got these,
listening on Spotify, you need to head over to YouTube so you can see all of these amazing photographs. You've been an actress, a podcaster, a doula, a mother. What would you say is your favourite role to play?
Oh, definitely mum and grandmother. Yeah,
Oh.
definitely.
Is
definitely.
it mum or grandmother?
Oh, I think probably mum, because grandmother, I just find the stress of the responsibility of somebody else's children. I love it. I absolutely love it. But I do find it quite overwhelming that I'm in charge of somebody else's child.
And do you find that, I'm thinking, because I've got sort of 2 boys, if they get married and to a female, and it's like, do you have to modify your behaviour and what you say and think?
Definitely.
If the boys ever said to you, Mum, please, can you not say that because that could offend her? Or
no, but I'm aware of it, particularly having seen my mother with her daughters-in-law.
There's that expression, isn't there? You have
your son's your son.
Your
so your daughter's your daughter
for life.
Yeah, but your son is your son. Yeah, your son is your son until he takes him a wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
But your daughter's your daughter for the rest of your life. Yeah.
We talk about our mother-in-laws quite often, and what would you say you're like as a mother-in-law?
I mean, I like to think I'm respectful of that relationship. I'm aware of the difference of the relationship, and I hope I'm respectful enough. I mean, I like to be as helpful as possible. And I always say to Roxy, and indeed I'm sure I will say to Tats when she has her baby, look, I'm here for whatever you need. And I fully know that your mum is in key position. But if for whatever reason she can't do it, I'm here. And anything you want, I'm here. Just let me know.
That's lovely.
Have you had to have conversations before, like, listen, lads, what is that you've just brought home? Because that was horrendous. I've just done a police check on her and she's got some convictions.
And 1 or 2 of Molly's, I said, is this a bit of a rebound relationship? Because I wouldn't put you
in
with
other
him.
words, we don't approve.
Yes, yeah.
We've had a conversation and we don't approve.
I think the problem is that it's their choice.
Yeah.
It's their choice, and you have to support them in what their choice is. Be that a partner, a career.
Makes it easier if you do like your kids' partners.
It does.
Yeah. My mother-in-law said to me the other day, she was like, I do like you. And I was like, oh, thank God for that.
How long have you been together for?
16 years.
Yeah, just as well.
Really. Is that the first time she said it as well?
But it was the way she said it. It's like, I do like you. I was like, good. The fact that my son's 13 and he said that his goal for 2026 is to get a girlfriend. And automatically I'm like, well, I need to like this woman.
Yes, you do.
Or,
she's,
I know I'm going to be that person.
The great thing is, I think you just have to be open-minded. So I would say, with Jack's partner, Roxy, who I love, we don't actually have that much in common because, I mean, she's a model. I was an actress. I guess they're both sort of performative. But, we found a lot of common ground, particularly since she's been a mum. Just that thing of, I like to think I give her permission to say, you know what, this is hard. It's hard. It is hard. You're in the teeth of it.
Yeah.
It's not all, plain sailing and lovely and I'm going to confess something now, that when I was in the teeth of it, when mine were perhaps a little bit older than you 2, so maybe 2, but when they could sort of understand, I sometimes used to change the clocks. I used to change the clocks at 6 o'clock. I'd put them forward half an hour and say, oh, look, it's bath time.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it.
What a brilliant idea.
It's genius. However, you can't do it when things go digital.
No.
Because like on Alexa and stuff, and all the time, and obviously Basil's got a phone. But when they weren't phones and we didn't have the Alexa, the big clock in the kitchen. Oh my God. We had a sleepover and it was 7 o'clock and I put the clock forward 3 hours.
Yeah.
I made it 10 p.m. And I was like, oh, guys, it's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And they all went to bed.
Yeah.
It was
because it was late.
amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, it's really late. Don't tell your mum.
Yeah.
And they did. It was brilliant. So I've done that. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And Hilary, you are
an absolute
superhero in your own
legend.
right.
Bless you.
Thank you so much for coming on this podcast. It's been a delight to have you here. I've loved hearing your advice, your stories, everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.